Good Monday morning, everybody. It is Monday, the 18th. I wish it was the 28th to be closer to June. The reason why I wish it was closer to June is we are planning a trip to Ohio, which I talked about in a previous vlog, so I'm not going to repeat it. But it's also closer to my 1 year anniversary of working at Casey's. Now, with all that's going on lately, little things like that, little celebrations, I guess you'd say, especially with all the COVID nonsense. It's good to be able to celebrate. Excuse me. I woke up with a kind of a stuffy nose and watery eyes. My allergies really last night decided to hit me in the head, so to speak. All right. I I'm kind of excited because this morning I woke up and I looked at my YouTube information. It is I'm gonna mark it as an earmark because I'm at 850 viewers. My last two cooking videos have gotten anywhere between 675 and 725 in viewership. Um, in fact, I had my egg video had 128 positive marks, thumbs up, however you want to put it, and the Chili Mac had pretty close to the same amount, which makes me very happy that I'm able to put out a video that y'all like. I know a lot of my chit chat and whatnot have not been as positive, and I guess with everything that's going on with the stay at home situation and whatnot, a lot of people are looking into things that that are positive or they want to see, and a lot of people look for like um, simple recipes for food because it's like either the supplies are starting to dwindle or people are getting tired of the same basic foods. So they're looking for people who are making different types of food or new what's the word? Innovative ways of cooking simple food. The chili mac especially is fairly simple. The scrambled eggs is the simplest. I mean, if you got eggs, milk, and sausage or bacon, you pretty much got scrambled eggs. It's also the factor with the way I like to eat my eggs. People are like, "Oh, I've never thought about putting barbecue sauce on eggs." Or some people probably have never thought about putting garlic salt in their eggs. I don't know. Um, and a lot of people are thinking, or a lot of people not thinking, but a lot of people have basically said that I found my niche or I seem to be very happy and positive. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Cooking has always, when I cook for myself or my family, I feel pretty good. I'm like my dad when it comes to cooking. I like to cook, but I don't want to cook on demand. I don't like the idea of having to cook on demand. So when I do cook and when I do cook something I know how to cook or I enjoy cooking, I'm happy. Um, do I want to do it professionally? Yes and no. The reason why I say yes and no is because, like I said, I don't want to cook on demand. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, I will be more than happy to cook for a small gathering. I'm sorry. I'd be more than happy to cook for a small gathering as long as it's something I want to cook, not what people want me to cook. So I think that's what I mean. Dad used to tell stories about how when he was younger and he worked at IHOP, um, he was he was all right with working at IHOP. He just, I guess he got this feeling of like I'm cooking for people. I'm being demanded to make something they want, not something I feel comfortable making or I want to make. So he never pursued a job as a professional cook. There's a lot of our friends when he was alive that used to say, "Why don't you open your own restaurant?" And that was his answer. I don't want to cook on demand. So it's kind of like, I understand what he's saying. I really do. So that's why I'm not a professional cook. Um, I'm pleased that y'all are. I keep on talking like that. I'm gonna sound weird. I'm pleased you guys like what I did so far. Like I said, I have a couple cookbooks with recipes that I've made in the past that I enjoyed. Um, Mom made up a bunch of different cookbooks where she broke it down in subject category: breads, meats, main dishes, desserts, things like that. Main dish was a mains, size, desserts, breads. I can't remember them all. I could take you out there and show them to you, but I'm not going to do that um, because that shelf was kind of a clutter, and it's all cookbooks and cooking materials and books about our bread machine and books about our slow cooker and books about our Instapot. So there's different books that have to do with cooking or cooking equipment that has recipes in the book. So the the ones that Mom made up, she put recipes in there that either we've tried and we liked, or I'm sorry, I'm not I'm not tired. I just, because of my breathing issues with my allergies, I'm having trouble. But the books are basically different recipes that either we want to try or we've tried and liked. Um, so I could probably dig through those and go, I wonder if I can do this on my own, or I wonder how much of this I can do with very little help. You know, not that I don't want to involve Jerry Ann in my videos or my cooking processes. It's just there are the very first video that we did together, cooking wise. Um, Other than the factor that it didn't get a lot of hits, and I don't know, I'm not 100% sure why. Well, actually, I am kind of sure why. The video we did together, one, I mislabeled. Two, during my attempts to learn how to edit videos, I kind of messed up on the audio, and I just kind of went, no, I'm not going to edit a video again like that because I had issues. Granted, Jerry Ann did try to teach me things, but it's kind of like I felt uncomfortable. And I know a lot of us, when we get that I don't feel comfortable level, we don't do it no more. So it's not like I don't want to learn or do it again. I just want to be able to learn how to do it where I'm not trying to take two different segments of video from two different devices and try to interlink them, then cut audio here and paste that and make sure the audio works there. It was just kind of like, this is kind of confusing, and it was one of those things where it's like, once I figured it out for that video, I had to redo the video and repost it. That's why there's two different videos of basically the same thing. but it was it was also one of those situations where, and it's kind of like it's starting to wear on Jerry Ann because she gets a lot of it on her videos. Um, the criticism, there are a few people who I've told Jerry Ann to just ignore or remove or do something to basically keep them from getting everybody else worked up in a frenzy. Jerry Ann and I are a unique couple, I will tell you that much. We both come from two different yet similar backgrounds. Um, the difference between her background and mine is my father was military, her father was not. That in fact, her father had a restaurant of his own. He had his own little shop or whatever you want to call it. He was an avid. Her father was an avid fisherman. My father was not a fisherman. Um, she was stuck in New York all her life. I got to the opportunity through my father to see different states, let alone a different country. So we're similar in the fact that our parents gave us the sense of purpose, the sense of discipline, the sense of family. Now, the difference between her and myself is she had siblings. I did not. I was an only child. In a way, because I was an only child, I got spoiled. I didn't have to fight my siblings for a place at the dinner table or toys or anything like that. Um, Granted, she is the second youngest out of. Hold on, I gotta think now. She was the second youngest out of five. No, six. I forgot to count Robert. Um, and she practically had to raise her younger brother because um, he was fairly young when Jerry Ann's mom passed away from a heart attack, basically. So it's one of those things where it's like I tried. Yesterday was kind of like one of those. We were going to do a couple of projects. We ended up doing a small little bit of a project because I guess somebody in her last video or her one of her Saturday videos was being a little bit of a snot, and it had gotten her really upset, and I was just like, I want to see what she saw. I want to see the video, and I wanted to see what this woman was talking about. But Jerry Ann said that she already deleted the comments that were upsetting her, and I went, I wish you would have let me look at them so I can put my 2 cents in. Um, Thanks to various elements that happened Wednesday, Thursday, I've been in one of my what do I describe? How do I describe it? One of my better moods. One of my more controlled, looking at the world through. I don't want to say rose-colored glasses because that would not be even close. Well, let's just put it this way: if in my current mood we had been out and about and somebody made a rude comment or an inappropriate comment or just a comment where it's like you don't even know is how do you even come to the conclusions you're coming to, I would have probably been, yeah, I would have been on the assault, um, for lack of better words. not just on the defensive, like I'm trying to protect my wife, but more on the um, you just stepped over the line. It's now time for you to lose the foot type situation. Not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to explain how my personality can be. Um, so I spent part of the morning consoling her, and part of the morning trying to see if there was anybody else who was saying things when they didn't know what they were talking about. Um, I'm literally lately not trying to keep her from. I don't want her to stop doing what she's doing. Not because of the factor. It is her outlet. It is her form of income. Um, it's the fact that why is she, it's literally like, why is she allowing these people who don't know us affect her in such a way? Like I said on one of my videos before, when somebody was saying things that basically, for lack of better terminology, speaking out of their butt, I was like, now let me explain to you people. This is what you guys get to see. This is the real picture. Until you get to see this picture, and you're only seeing this picture, your comments that are derogatory or a put down, or oh, he's being, a brat, or she's being too hard on him. No, no. It's a two-way situation. When I start doing something, whether it's for her, with her, or myself, and I get that laser focus of trying to get the job done, and she needs my attention, or um, something like that, she has to sometimes be what some people are considering harsh. I don't consider it harsh. I consider it, I am in my own zone, my own realm of thought, and she needs my focus on what's going on, or what she's trying to get me to do, because it's her project and I'm going through the steps to help her out. Some people think it's rude or harsh, and I'm like, no, I understand what happened. I know exactly what happened. And yeah, she had to raise her voice, or get a little, what you people perceive as harsh, or rude, however you want to perceive it. I know exactly it wasn't. It was my fault, because I'm the one who was basically needing to have my attention on what she's trying to get me to do. So it's one of those things where it's like, until you live with us, or until you get to know us personally, not via video, or I decide to sit down and write basically a book with all the details and insights that I can possibly put down on paper. Don't be so, well, yeah, for lack of better words, don't be so dramatic. Don't be so like trying to analyze a situation you have no clue about. Anyhow, um, I did not get on here to be ranting about that. It just happens to be one of the many things that was keeping me awake last night and weighing a little heavy on me. Ooh, that felt good. Um, yes, today is Monday, and that means work is going to be a little on the hectic side, due to the fact that it's also delivery day. And the weather is, well, I didn't get to check my weather real quick. I'm not in the other room to talk to Alexa. Um, I know it dipped down into low 60s, But they're saying that today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, possibly Thursday, are supposed to be maybe a little overcast, but the temperature is supposed to be in the mid to low 80s. Mid 70s to low 80s. I said that wrong. So, yeah. Um, what else did I want to talk about this morning? I forgot. I forgot. Oh, no. Well, two things before I end this. Hopefully, I won't have it too long. Um, I've got to learn how to cut these short because once I hit 1,000 subscribers and I go to monetize, um, anything over 15 minutes might be a little. I don't know. I have to look into how they do that. Um, this morning's little tidbit from my daily bread is called "One Step Closer." Romans 13 verses 10 to 14, and oh my gosh, Jim, where's your brain this morning? I guess things are weighing so heavily this morning I can't remember squat. But go ahead. I know this video is going to get a lot of bad reviews, but that's all right. These videos are not totally for you guys. They're partially for me because of my memory issues. But I don't remember exactly what I read, and I'm sorry. But the title itself, One Step Closer, it has a lot of meaning in my brain. As foggy as it is this morning because of the allergy medication and whatnot. Oh yes, he was the writer was talking about how they went to climb Mount Whitney, and Mount Whitney is an easy climb compared to a lot of other mountains. It's not what they call a technical climb, which means you really don't need rope and harness and all that fun stuff, because it's an 11-mile hike on a trail basically, but it's a climb. It's a ascending hike. Ascending? Is that the right word? And how it can be really rough because 11 miles. You're walking 11 miles uphill at 14 plus thousand feet or miles. I never could remember if they measure it in feet or miles. But it's 14,000. Just scan this real quick. Yeah. 14,000 feet above sea level. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever lived or been in the mountains or anything like that, but you know that the higher you get in elevation above sea level, the thinner the air can get. Now, I know from my 2 times I worked in Yellowstone National Park in my, I don't know how many, I can't even count how many times visiting or being in the mountains, like Flagstaff and even Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park is about, it's just shy. I think it's right around the same mark as Mount Whitney. And, well, I remember when we were in Yellowstone National Park, one of the mountains in the park that you could climb, or they weren't in the park, they were outside the park. Yeah, they were outside the park near the Grand Teton region. I'm trying to get my bearings. And yeah, you can see this mountain from Yellowstone, from within Yellowstone National Park by Old Faithful. And it was we were at 10 to 12,000 feet at sea level in Yellowstone National Park. So this mountain had to be probably about the same height as Yellowstone, or not Yellowstone, as Mount Whitney. Now, I don't know exactly where Mount Whitney is because he doesn't specify, and I'm pretty sure if I were to look it up, I could find it. But that's not important. It's the fact that as you climb a mountain, things can get a little rougher, a little harder to breathe. You've been hiking uphill. It's not Mount Everest where when you start getting to a certain point, you need a oxygen equipment, or I forgot what they call it, but special equipment to get to the peak of Everest. Otherwise, you could basically, if you take it too fast or too hard, you can, what's the term? Get asphyxia. You get that oxygen, that dizziness and whatnot from low oxygen. It causes problems with your thinking, your motor skills, your speech, your blood count, basically your white blood cells or something like that. So Whitney is not as harsh, but still, any kind of climb, whether it's a physical climb on a mountain, a personal climb to basically get somewhere in your life. Um, Sometimes for me, sometimes daily events could cause me to have a psychological or an emotional issue, which, but the thing is every step you take towards your goal, whether it's the top of a mountain, financial aspect, a personal gain, whatever it is, each step brings you closer to that point. It's the same thing with being closer to God. Every step you take towards Him is a step gained. It's another step forward. Now, I know there are people out there, including myself, that have had setbacks, and those setbacks can basically feel like you've lost yardage. And then sometimes the hardships of what's going on that could be blocking you to gain your goal or get to that place you want to be. Some people just get so frustrated with the hardship and throw it out. Especially when it comes to like personal goals, financial goals. You get frustrated because of things that are happening and you just decide it's not worth it. I've done that so many times and I regret just about every single one of them. There's only two, three that I can think of that I don't regret. For a number of reasons. Now, I'm not going to get into detail to talk about them because every time I do think about them, it makes things a little bit more difficult. Um, but now that I'm older and wiser, I can say this much: don't give up. Giving up on any kind of goal um, can be more problematic than not. Now I can think of a couple different reasons to give up a goal that how do I put it? That's more beneficial than not. And that's because of the factor, especially now that I'm married and realize that I'm not alone. It's the single-minded or not really a personal goal, but if it's a goal that is not beneficial to both you and your wife, or your spouse, I should say, um, you have to think about what the goal is, how it may affect both of you, both positive and negative aspects, and is it worth trying to pursue if, in the long run, it's actually more harmful than beneficial. Um, like right now, I have a personal goal to read my books. And I have a choice. Do I read them during the daytime and take away time that I can be spending with my wife? I've already got enough things that take away from us that I can't just say, no, I'm not going to do that because, unfortunately, I have to work. Jerry Ann and I actually had to talk about this because one of the issues I have with reading certain books, if while I'm reading the book I'm interrupted, excuse me, and those interruptions could be anything from just noises around the house that that my brain cannot identify automatically. Jerry Ann trying to talk to me while I'm reading. Jerry Ann watching a program or something like that on TV that is interruptive. Basically, it interrupts my train of thought. Now, I'm not trying to say everything's on her on when it comes to the interruptions, because there's other things that interrupt me, my own thoughts, one thing or another. So Jerry and I had talked about it and decided that maybe it would be best that the 2 hour window that between the time we shut off the TV and stop watching TV to the time I go to bed, I should say, to either decide, do I want to read or do I want to play? Now, what I mean by play is I've got games that I play that help me fall asleep, like Civilization. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a video game that you are a ruler of a nation and you get to choose what nation you are, and it's mostly like everything from ancient civilizations to modern day people. Modern day, well, up to Teddy Roosevelt. And you basically get to lead that nation. Um, and that nation is basically corresponding to the leader. Like Cleopatra does Egypt, Peter does Russia, Theodore Roosevelt is America. You get the gist of it, and you get to lead this nation from the Stone Age to the Space Age. And it's a turn-based game. It's relaxing, um, to me anyhow. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. Or I can split it in half, an hour of gaming and an hour of reading. The only thing is, like I tried to explain to her, is certain books, certain materials, I can't read at night because if I read them at night and it causes my brain to start processing and thinking and, oh yeah, okay, if I do it this way, that kind of thing, I won't be able to get to sleep. The whole reason for me playing video games at nighttime is they help get rid of the day's turmoil. They help me relax, basically. Now, my one book that I'm reading at nighttime, which I'm basically kind of reading to Jerry Ann, sort of, is an old book I've read multiple times, and the story I know. Oh, that tea bag must have been had some loose tea leaves in my cup. Not enough to do a reading. No, I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't know. So, oh yes, the steps forward. So my goal is basically to try to read these books to help me on a personal level. Um, so that's one of my goals. Now, because of the issues with timing and I can only read certain materials during certain times of the day, um, it's a slow go. But I'm bound and determined I'm not going to let any setbacks keep me from doing it. So, anywho, um, yeah, 35 minutes. Sorry, I just started rambling and just couldn't stop myself. To recap, real quick, I'm very thankful to everybody for the memberships, the viewerships. 850 people. That means I'm only 150 more people away from being at my current goal, which is 1,000. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the cook with me. The last two videos have been a big hit. Um, what does that mean for me? Well, I have been basically looking at my last month and a half worth of videos to see which types of videos have had the biggest, best impact, I guess you'd say. And so far, they've been my cooking videos. Unfortunately, I can only cook so much at a time before I have to switch away from cooking, mostly because of the fact that my refrigerator can only handle so much food. And between the food the leftovers that we have from some dinners to the cook with me, well, especially the chili mac, I still have, I would say, roughly enough for two servings, a bowl for me, a bowl for Jerry, um, before that's gone. Last night we did, and what I mean by we is Jerry, did I guess the equivalency of a pulled beef, not pork, but beef. Um, Now, what Jerry made could have been either shredded or just sliced and served like Italian beef sandwiches, minus the pepper ingredient. The my I, I'll talk about a different video. Just remind me about that. But we have some leftovers from last night, so that impacted today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's guaranteed that it will be more of a vlog than a cook with me or anything like that. Um, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday kind of depends because, like I said, my cooking repertoire is kind of limited. I have to experiment basically, um, or I can just pull out my sorry, pull out my one of my cookbooks and see if there's anything in there that I can make. Ooh, I just thought of something I could make next Friday, this coming Friday. I There's a recipe that just popped in my head that I think I talked about it, but I never did it. It's basically the American version of what the Thai people called cow pot. I think that's the translation. I don't know how to say it but it's basically a rice ground beef with seasoning type seasoning and a scrambled egg. Um, I will try to do that this coming weekend if I have some ground beef. Um, or I might have to go out and buy a pound package of ground beef. But yeah, I'm gonna try that. Um, I'm not going to point it out. I'm just going to ask. If you see something specific, and you can put it in the comment box of what you're seeing that's new. I'm just going to give you a hint. It's on my face. Um, but anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and sign off because it's 40 minutes. I probably got to go wake up Jerry-Ann and start dinner. Yeah. Anyhow, if you like this video, which I know it's just me rambling and whatnot, give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, specific comments of like what you may or may not see as new, go ahead and put that in the comment box. If you're new to my channel and want to see more videos, and don't judge just this one video, go back and look at my other videos. Go back and look at my cooking videos. Those are kind of new, and there's probably going to be more of them popping up as time goes by until I can possibly just make this whole thing about cooking. I don't know. Cooking, baking, what can Jim do today? But go ahead and give that bell a tap, and YouTube will let you know when I put in a new video. And until next time, God bless, be safe, have a good day. Have a good day. Bye.